Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day before starting the video. Please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The bold and the beautiful spoilers say Taylor Hayes really wants her wedding to Ridge Forrester to happen, but her son Thomas Forrester, Matthew Atkinson, wants it even more. How far will Thomas go to make sure his parents get hitched? Thomas knows Ridge Forrester, Thorsten K., is having second thoughts about marrying Taylor, and it doesn't take a genius to figure out why. Fresh off the plane and back from Italy, Brooke had an uncomfortable run-in with Thomas Forrester. Her daughter's ex warned Brooke to back off and stay out of his parents' relationship, and she's not going to. According to the bold and the beautiful spoilers, Ridge Forrester is crunched for time and has to make a decision. Both of his ex-wives are done with his wishy-washy behavior and want him to commit or kick rocks. Thomas returned to Los Angeles to make sure Ridge chooses Taylor and goes through with the I-do's. And he's going to make sure there's a Tridge wedding by any means necessary. Brooke Logan is playing with fire, and B&B spoilers say she will continue hounding Ridge and pushing him to call off the nuptials. Once Thomas realizes Brooke is working her magic on his dad, he's going to be gunning for her. What better way to make sure his parents get married than to remove Brooke from the equation? And she's not going to leave willingly. It's no secret that Thomas has a history of being unhinged and having violent outbursts. Brooke Logan could actually be in serious danger. Will Ridge and Taylor's son harm Brooke, or even kidnap her to save his parents' wedding? The Forrester mansion, long a place of passion, betrayal, and whispered secrets, is about to transform into the setting of one of the most shocking twists in the Bold and the Beautiful's recent history. Rumors swirl and tension builds as Thomas Forrester, the unpredictable designer whose past demons constantly shadow his future, embarks on a path that will shake Los Angeles to its core. This time, it isn't about designs, corporate power struggles, or a love triangle. It's about control, obsession, and a breaking point no one saw coming. And at the heart of his dark descent? Brooke Logan. What begins as yet another fiery clash between Brooke and Thomas soon spirals into a sinister ordeal that no one in the Forrester or Logan families could have predicted. Could it be that Thomas, so desperate to be trusted, accepted, and loved, makes the most dangerous mistake of his life, taking Brooke hostage? Brooke Logan has never been shy about voicing her disdain for Thomas. Time and again, she's warned Hope, Ridge, and anyone else within earshot that Thomas's manipulations always resurface when least expected. And although Thomas recently claimed to be on a path of redemption, winning Hope's tentative forgiveness and Ridge's cautious trust, Brooke remains his harshest critic. Behind the scenes at Forrester Creations, Brooke uncovers what she believes is new evidence that Thomas hasn't truly changed. Whispers of shady dealings, hidden agendas, and a suspiciously obsessive streak when it comes to Hope have Brooke convinced that Thomas is teetering on the edge again. Brooke's fiery declaration? "I won't let Thomas destroy my daughter's life again. Not this time. Not ever." This vow sets her directly on a collision course with Thomas, and it's one that will ignite a battle that spills far beyond the boardroom. For weeks, Thomas has been walking a fine line between proving his worth and fighting the gnawing insecurities that come from his family's divided loyalties. He hears whispers in the corridors, sees Ridge torn between defending him and listening to Brooke, and feels Hope pulling away every time Brooke stokes her daughter's doubts. Though Thomas insists he's changed, deep down, he fears Brooke's persistence will unravel everything he's worked for. And when Hope begins questioning him about his feelings again, prodded by Brooke's warnings, Thomas feels cornered. Desperation takes root. In Thomas's mind, Brooke isn't just meddling. She's a threat to his future, to his relationship with his son Douglas, and to the fragile peace he's built. If Brooke would just stay out of it, everything would finally fall into place. Thomas rages privately, his mind spinning out of control. It all comes to a head one stormy evening at the Forrester mansion. Brooke, determined to confront Thomas head-on, storms over to the estate after hearing whispers from Hope that Thomas may still be harboring dangerous feelings. The confrontation quickly spirals. Brooke accuses Thomas of being an obsessed manipulator. Thomas insists she's poisoning Hope against him. Voices rise, emotions boil, and something inside Thomas snaps. Instead of walking away, Thomas makes a shocking move, blocking the door, demanding Brooke listen to him for once and refusing to let her leave until she understands his perspective. At first, Brooke laughs bitterly, dismissing his antics as more drama. But as Thomas's intensity deepens and his desperation hardens into something darker, Brooke realizes with growing horror he isn't letting her go. What begins as a heated argument quickly morphs into a chilling hostage scenario. Thomas doesn't tie Brooke up in the traditional soap opera sense, but he uses his size, his presence, and his sheer determination to trap her in the mansion. He confiscates her phone, locks the doors, and tells her no one will interrupt until she finally hears him. Brooke's fear intensifies as she realizes Thomas is unraveling before her eyes. One moment he's pleading, pouring out years of pain and rejection, begging her to see him as more than a monster. The next, his tone shifts into anger, accusing her of destroying every chance he's ever had with hope or acceptance from Ridge. For Brooke, it's a nightmare come true. She's faced manipulative men before, Deacon's past schemes, bills, power plays. But this feels different. Thomas is unpredictable, volatile, and dangerously convinced that cornering her will somehow fix everything. As the hours tick by, Brooke's absence doesn't go unnoticed. Ridge, who was expecting Brooke at dinner, grows uneasy when she doesn't show and doesn't answer her phone. Hope, too, becomes suspicious when she hears her mother had planned to settle things with Thomas. When Hope calls Thomas's phone and Brooke's voice doesn't answer, alarm bells go off. The Forrester and Logan families begin to worry, setting in motion a frantic search across Los Angeles. Ridge is torn between protecting his son and fearing the worst about his temper. Hope is sick with worry, torn between loyalty to her mother and disbelief that Thomas would hurt her. Liam sees this as proof of every warning he's ever given about Thomas. Steffi insists there must be an explanation, but starts to panic when she realizes she hasn't been able to reach Thomas either. The mansion becomes ground zero as family members begin piecing together the possibility that Brooke is indeed being held against her will. Inside, Brooke refuses to crumble under Thomas's pressure. She uses every ounce of her Logan resilience to challenge him, trying to keep him talking, trying to find a way out. She reminds him of Douglas, of Hope, of Ridge. She tells him that locking her away will only confirm every suspicion people have about him. For a moment, it seems to work. Thomas falters, torn between his anger and his desperate need for acceptance, but then his paranoia resurfaces. "You'll never give me a chance, Brooke. You'll never see me as anything but a threat. So why should I care what you think anymore?" Brooke realizes that reasoning alone won't save her. She must outsmart him, finding a way to escape before his mood shifts again. The climax builds as Ridge storms into the mansion after hours of searching. His instincts lead him to Thomas's old bedroom, where he finds Brooke shaken but alive, and Thomas pacing like a caged animal. The confrontation between father and son is explosive. Ridge demands Thomas let Brooke go, but Thomas, wild-eyed and desperate, insists Ridge finally take his side for once. "You always choose her, Dad. It's always Brooke. What about me? What about your son?" Ridge is left devastated, realizing the depth of his son's instability. He begs Thomas to stop before he ruins his life permanently, but the damage may already be done. Brooke's ordeal leaves scars that ripple through every relationship. Brooke is traumatized but determined to protect Hope and Douglas from Thomas's influence. She presses Ridge to finally admit Thomas needs professional help, maybe even institutionalization. Thomas is left broken, facing not only his family's disappointment, but the possibility of legal consequences. the word restraining order begins to circulate. Ridge is torn apart, caught between protecting Brooke and saving his son. His guilt at not recognizing the warning signs earlier eats at him. Hope is devastated. She believed Thomas was finally on a better path, and now she questions whether he'll ever change, or if her mother was right all along. Steffi struggles with guilt, wondering if her constant defense of Thomas enabled his downward spiral. Liam feels vindicated but also furious that his daughter's grandmother was endangered. He vows to make sure Thomas never threatens his family again. The fallout is massive, and the Forrester-Logan war reignites with a vengeance. While the immediate drama centers around Thomas's shocking hostage move, the bigger question looms. What now? Can Thomas ever recover from this? Is redemption even possible after crossing such a dangerous line? Or is this the point of no return where Thomas cements himself as a true villain? And for Brooke, will this ordeal finally convince Ridge once and for all that their love is worth protecting, or will the trauma push her away, leaving Ridge to pick up the pieces of a broken family? The Bold and the Beautiful thrives on explosive confrontations and shocking twists, but Thomas taking Brooke hostage would mark one of the show's darkest turns in years. It's a storyline that combines the best of soap drama, family feuds, psychological battles, moral dilemmas, with high-stakes suspense. Thomas's unraveling, Brooke's resilience, and Ridge's impossible choice create a triangle of devastation that could reshape the canvas of the show for months to come. The question is no longer whether Thomas has changed, it's whether he's lost forever. Thanks for watching this video. And please subscribe our Bold and Beautiful Update YouTube channel for more update news.